so slow this morning.
Today we shall read Genesis 37 together. Tell me if you have it open.
Mine is just loading, so I'm almost there.
Okay. Good afternoon, Charles. Good morning, Karen.
Shalom, Eti. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, shalom. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm okay.
Good to hear. And Karen?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good,
I'm
good
good.
to hear. Good. And Jill, do you have this open?
It just opened for me. Yes, I have it
Okay.
open now.
Okay. The letters are big enough, or shall I enlarge them a bit? Is it better like this?
Uh, yes, I can read it like this.
Yes. Yes.
Are you ready? Okay,
Yes.
that was
Good
perfect.
text inside. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Jacob dwelt in the land of his fathers' sojournings in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. Can you open it just a little bit more?
Yes, of course, of course,
Okay,
of course.
I'm
Just
sorry.
say, is that good?
Okay, that's better. With his brethren, being still a lad, even with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought evil report of them unto their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was a son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and almost stood upright, and behold, your sheaves came round about, and bowed down to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed yet another dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowed down to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him, and his father kept the saying in his mind.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like to hear, please, if possible, impressions of this text. What is your impression from the dreams of Joseph? Do you have any special insight to one of them, to the dialogue between the father and the son, to the behavior of Joseph in the field? I would like to hear from you. Good morning, Felipe. I would like us to focus on one. If you have, at the moment, if you don't have any impressions or something to share, I would like to open one verse, unless if you have something to say. I would like to open verse 9. Jill, can you please read again verse 9? Because this is the focus of this conversation. Please.
Sure. Verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed yet a dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowed down to me.
Okay, so let's see what is happening here. The sun, we have, I would like to write this here. I will move to a pen mode. The sun, to make it even, sorry, thinner that it will fit. The sun and the moon and how many stars?
11.
11. 11. So we have one sun and we have one moon and we have 11 stars. Is that right?
Yes.
How many are all of these together?
13.
13. So 13 elements are bowing in front of whom?
In
According
front,
to yes,
in front of Joseph.
Joseph. So in this dream, Joseph is the 14th element. Do we agree to this concept to read this verse in this way?
Yes.
Because if we read this in this way, it in a way explain many things. Because if Joseph is the 14th element, and what is 14th? From what do we know? 1 and 4. Who would like to review? What does the number 14 stand for? Do you remember? 14 or 1 to 4, do you remember?
The mystery.
The mystery, the mist and the mystery. So Joseph was dreaming the following: the sun and the moon and 11 stars are bowing to mystery. But he did not say mystery, he says to me, because he was the person who dreamt the dream. So when he told the dream to his brothers, they said, "You want to reign, you want to govern us." But it's not Joseph, the one who has the dream. Let's say if we dream a dream, each and every one of us, I believe so, that through the course of our life, at least at once, each and every one of us has a dream. But the one who dreams the dream, or the one who has a dream, is just a what? Is just a what? A messenger. Do you understand what I was trying to say here?
Yes.
Joseph was just giving a message, but the opposite. He says everything: the sun, the moon, and 11 stars are bowing to what? To the mystery. Even love, and 13 together is love. Because 13 in Hebrew is the value of ahava, love, ahava, and one, echad, one. Even love bows to mystery. And they interpret the dream as like a personal, even the father. Because the father, what does the father say? Verse 10. How does the father relate to the dream? Jill, can you read please the comment of the father in verse 10?
Yes. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down to thee, or to thee, to the earth?
Thank you. So how does Jacob the father relate to the dream? How does Jacob understand the dream? Who is the sun and who is the moon? How does the father interpret the dream?
He interprets it as the himself as the sun, and
Yes,
the mother as the moon, and his brothers as the stars.
yes. The moon is the mother and the stars are the brothers or the rest of his sons. Do you understand the difference between the two kinds of reading of the dream? Do you understand this?
Yes.
One of them is personal. The other one, or the first one with the numbers, is impersonal. The one that we see as Joseph is, in a way, reflects the mystery, the 1 to 4. The mystery, Ed, the mist that was before Adam came to be. Ed, 1 to 4. The mist. Okay, so let's make a progress. If the father already translates the dream as personal, what will happen to the father who translate the dream personal? Please read verse 11. Here the father does something very, very interesting. Please read verse 11 because the father already takes a step because he translated the dream as personal. Please read verse 11.
And his brethren envied him, but his father kept the saying in mind.
Yes, thank you so much. The Hebrew says the following. Here's the key word, and I will put it in red. Ve'aviv, his father, shamar, kept, shamar, kept. This is very interesting. I would like us to focus because this will be a key word. Shamar, shamar, kept. Second, sorry, 1 second, the whiteboard. I have to get it closer. 1 second. Shamar, kept. Let's look into the value of the number. Shamar. Shin, 300. Mem, 40. Resh, 200. How much do we have in general?
540.
Excellent. 500. I'll move a pen. 1 second. 540. When we divide 540 into 2, what do we get? Numbers. 270.
270.
270. 270 is the value of the word bad in Hebrew. Bad. Ra. Bad. So his father kept this interpretation of the dream in his heart. Kept. He did not speak about it. And the value of kept, Shamar, is 540. And if we divide it into 2, it's double bad. One bad, another bad. Do you remember the value of the name Israel? Jacob also, after fighting with the angel or with the minister of Asaph or with the Shekhinah, he got a new name. Do you remember that the new name that Jacob received? Jacob received a new name, Israel.
Yes, yes, I remember.
Israel. The value of Israel, Israel, is 541. So now the question is, the father of Joseph, and deliberately I called him at this moment the father of Joseph and none of his names as a man, not Jacob and not Israel. The father of Joseph, by keeping the dream in his heart, under what name does he behave?
Jacob.
Jacob. Yes, Jacob. Because there's only a difference of one between kept, Shamar, and Israel. And the one is the Aleph, is the unity, is the source, the origin. So at this moment, the father of Joseph behaves as Jacob. Another thing, the word shemer, shemer, shemer is the singular form of yeast. You know what yeast does for the dough? How do we make a bread?
It causes it to rise.
It causes it rise. It just bubbles and it gets it puffed. Yes, because if we have only flour and water, you get a flat, thin dough, and this is it, like a matzah, like a toast, very thin, without puffness, without, so to speak, self-importance. But the word shemer, or those letters shemer, shamar, is like the yeasts. So in a way, the father of Joseph at this moment kept the translation of the dream in his heart. He doesn't speak about it. He has something that he hides in his, and this is bubbling inside of his heart. Do you understand this moment?
Yeah.
Good. Question so far?
The question that I would have is how we know when to do the dividing. Like we see what 540, but how do you know that you needed to divide it by two to get another interpretation? Why can't we? And could it have been divided by other numbers?
Of course, it can be divided. What happens, and Weinreb is an interesting scholar. I would say that one of his books we recommended for everyone who participate in those lessons by hearing or by asking questions is Roots of the Bible. And how did we arrive to this number 540, and why do we divide it into two? Weinreb says that when you approach the Bible in a mathematical way, the Bible from itself opens to you or to us like the opening of the Red Sea or of the Red Sea. I did not, this is a very good question that you ask, and I really appreciate this concern. I did not plan, and I do not come to the text with a theory in the back of my mind. What happens is that I read the text, and sometimes when a person reads the text, it can be for anyone, a certain word asked or attracts our attention. And once I was reading the book of Amos, the prophet, I think it was Amos, And I was reading about a place in the land of Canaan called the Shomron mountain. Shomron. I will write it. Shomron. One second. In English, they call it Samaria. And took my attention because the root, this is a Semitic language, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic. They are Semitic languages, and they behave, first of all, we write them from right to left, and they have roots. It's not the later languages, the younger languages, Latin, Greek, and so English, German, Spanish, and so French, that which are written from left to right. The Semitics are being written and read from right to left, from where the sun is rising. And what caught my attention when I was reading the book of Amos is the name of Shomron. It has the stem letters Shemer, Shin, Mem, Resh, like Shamar, like kept. And according to the text in Amos, something attracted my attention, and I opened this verse in the book of Amos, and I arrived to this. It caught my attention, and this root came as 540. And later, when I read again Genesis, I remember the root. So I started from Amos. Why do I encourage all of us to read the Bible? And this is what Weinreb says. At some point, the Bible opens itself to us. It's like when we browse the internet and there's a link and a hyperlink. So if here I saw it, Shemer or Shamar is 540, and here the same would appear, and it rings a bell because Shamar kept is 540, but his other name is Israel is 541. So what happens? In a way, Jacob, the father of Joseph, is bubbling from the inside. So it's not that I come in a deterministic way to the Bible and says, oh, today we're gonna divide into 7, double into multiple in 30. No, at some point, since it's the Bible, you can say it's a jungle. You can look at it, or like the map of the world, and we are creating paths, like we go in the jungle and we make maps. Yes, and you say here it appears here, and since we have former coordinates, we are creating new synapses, new connections. Do you understand? How does it work? Karen? Questions so far? Now, we started with a bit of mathematics and kind of thinking, and I would like to share with you a painting of a kind person that donate in a way his anonymity, and he took a picture of this beautiful painting, and I would like to hear from you, from one of the volunteers, what do we see in this painting? It was made by a Russian, not Russian, sorry, though the letters are in Russian, I will say his name, Alexander Novoskoltsev in 1880. And a very kind person took a picture of this painting and put it on Wikipedia for everyone to share. So, and the name of the picture is Jacob Recognizes Joseph Clothing. who would like to volunteer and describe to us what do we see in this painting?
I
Felipe,
can.
yes, Jill?
I can unless somebody else wants to.
Yes, please.
It's let's see. There's four men in the picture, and one is sitting to the left with his hands up, and then somebody there's a looks like a younger man with like a sheep fur type of sheep maybe skirt on that's handing a white robe, and then there's a man behind a tree, and then there's a man between them.
Mhm.
Maybe like he's given something. He found something and is giving it to the man sitting on the side.
And who is the man who is sitting on the side with the white beard? And
That's
who, yes, who is
Jacob.
Jacob? And who is the one who delivers some piece of clothing and him himself wearing a sheep cover?
It must be one of the sons.
One of the sons. Look at the hair, at the color of the hair of the person who delivers this piece of cloth, so to speak, to Jacob. What color does he have on his hair? What kind of color?
Red hair.
Red. Does he wear any shirt
No.
or no? So who might it be?
Esau.
Esau? Esau is you're close. You're very, very close. Esau is the brother of Jacob, the one who sits. So Esau is
Hmm.
quite, I would say, old,
Hmm.
is about 100 years old. But this is a young man. He has red hair. And he is offering Jacob the piece of clothes probably belonged to Joseph. He has red hair. Who might he be? And he doesn't have a piece of clothes or shirt or dressing that cover his upper parts. Red hair. Which king from the kings that we later meet in the Bible had red hair?
Um, I
It
can't remember.
David. Could be David. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Felipe.
Hello, Jill.
How
Hello.
are you?
Hello, my friend. It's quite a remarkable painting, and I was thinking that I also thought about this how because in a symbolic way we could uh, uh, the time aspect, the rate, the ratio of time could be dismissed in a way. So I also thought about Esau because he had this skin of this rough skin, and also he's related to Adama, Edom, which is the red. And it's interesting also because if I remember well, the king of the king that had red hair is David, but David also is quite uh, quite after Jacob.
I see that
Good.
Betty wrote Edom and then David underneath it. Yeah, on the board.
And one aspect I'm not sure about, but uh, when Joseph was caught by his brother, he was wearing, if I recall well, this this garment, this cloth of many colors. I'm not sure about it, but now we see this white clothing. So I don't know if there is something in this symbol to be watched, to be seen as well. And I wonder whom are the other two brothers. If I I, I think about Judah and Reuben being the one who is close to Jacob, and Judah in the background. And it's interesting also that Jacob and the young man with the clothes, they are the only the both of them are illuminated. They are in in a way they are illuminated. So it looks like Jacob is it's regarding through his heart the future, like he's giving he's contemplating the future in David, I guess.
See that Etty is still on mute, so I wonder if she's having issues trying to get back on.
Hello, do you hear
Ah,
me?
yes, we hear you now.
Did you, from since when you don't hear? Oh, I'm sorry.
Since you had asked about who had the red hair.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, so, okay. So the one who has red hair is Judah, and we don't have yet the text in front of our eyes to read, but Judah is the one who says, please recognize, I can bring the verse. This is the clause. One second, I'll bring it. And while I'll bring the verse, try to think why Judah does not have any shirt or dressing that covers his chest. While I bring the verse, one second. It is Genesis 37, 32. I'll bring it. We are in this verse. One second. I will bring few verses before that we would be able to see all of this together. Second, make it a bit. Can you say why Judah does not have any dressing on his upper part? What might be the reason?
Eti,
Yes.
I really don't know. I don't know if you heard what I was speaking, and I really don't know why Judah has this uh, lack of clothing, but it it it's I guess there is something to do with his destiny to be, to be a Gilgul in David, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know. I was thinking only about David, because.
This is in.
But I have no clue.
Mhm.
No clue.
Could we say that Judah is naked? The upper part of himself is naked? Could we say that?
Yes.
Yes. And in Genesis, in the story of the garden, who is the most cunning? Cunning. Cunning in Hebrew is also naked, naked, undressed. We have the word, one second, I'll move into pen. Arum, arum. Arum is cunning. Cunning is with double N or with A. Can you please help me with the spelling, Jill? Do you hear me?
Sorry. I'm sorry. For cunning,
Yes.
Cunning.
Yeah. Yes. Arum is cunning. And the serpent is most what? Cunning. Cunning in English, but in Hebrew, arum, meaning undressed. Undressed. So when we see a person who is, so to speak, naked or undressed, it means he is either cunning or he is lacking of grace. Do we understand, first of all, this concept?
Yes.
So, who is here offering the piece of clothes for Jacob to recognize it, and who does not have any dressing?
Judah.
Judah. And plus, he has red hair. Like they say, most there is a saying that from bloodshed, and this is why you also associate when you first saw you and also Felipe. Your first tendency is to identify him with Esau, and your first, how do you say, instinct was right because all of them have the relation of 1 to 4. The name Judah has 1 to 4, David 1 to 4, and also Esau 1 to 4, because at the crossing of Jabbok, the messengers that Jacob sends telling him that his brother is approaching him with 400 men. 400 men, sorry, 400. Esau plus 400 men. So all of them, it's not this is what I want to say. It's not a mistake that your first initiation was to say this is Esau because he's dressed like a hunter, he has red hair, he's associated with the blood, and the painter also chose to bring here the dressing of Joseph as white, and the, how do you say, the colors are only at the opening of the dress, not the whole dressing. As many colors, only the opening when person uh, dresses it through his head. So we understand this concept,
Yes.
and the coat of many color, or in Hebrew, ktonet pasim, the dressing of streif. I mean, in Hebrew, it's very simple. It's a strip dressing, like many strips, like we sometimes see in a fashion shop. There's like, let's say there's a dominant color, let's say not red because it's a bit, um, let's move to another color here. This is, here we have like major strip, and here we have white. And here we have another strip in a certain color, and we have white strip. And again, this is Ktonet Pasim. Ktonet Pasim. So where is the Ktonet Pasim is in the painting, because Felipe did not see this in his Judah's hand. Where are they hiding? Where is the dressing, the coat of many color is hiding in the picture? Do you see some kind of an element that has strips
Yes.
The only one I see is
Yes.
at the top.
at the top? So what is the
It's like the.
yes, yes, Felipe.
It's like the sukkah.
Yes, the sukkah or the tent. Very good. So what does the painter wants to? What does he want to communicate to us by choosing to present the case like this? What does he want to communicate to us? If the coat of many colors is coming from above, like kind of a sukkah, like a hut or a covering of a tent, and it's above a man's height, so whom did they sell?
Joseph.
Joseph. And since here the how do you say, the fabric above is like above men's height, whom did they sell? Only the brother did they sell? Only Joseph did they sell to the Ishmaelite caravan? They sold the secret, they sold God, they sold the mystery.
I understand.
Because in a way the coat of many colors is above human height. Because yes, yes, Philly.
It just to say something, if I may make a quick relation to New Testament, because in the New Testament is Judah who uh, sells in a way the information about Jesus, and when Jesus is caught, it's because Judah sold his sold him in a way,
Mhm.
and I think it's a parallel uh, aspect of this selling of Joseph, and it's interesting because it is Judah who is in the main picture.
Yes,
And once you've told us about the Judah name being the tetragrammaton
yes,
with matter,
yes,
the Dalet, the poor one,
yes,
and he's poor. He's so poor he has to sell it.
yes. He's so poor. This is it. He's so poor. Yes, yes, he's so poor.
Betty,
Yes.
I did not really understand when you said what you said about the coat and the height.
You mean the fabric from above? This one you did not understand?
Yeah, the coat of many colors, what you said about it.
How did I explain? You mean in the picture, in the painting, or the concept?
No, I think the explanation that you were talking about, the concept, I think so. When you
The
said
concept.
they sold, they
They
didn't sell Joseph, they sold, I'm forgetting.
they sold a mystery. They sold God. They don't believe in God because the Ktonet Pasim, the coat of many colors, in a way reflects the relation with the infinite, from the infinite to us. Because sometimes we experience reality like this and sometimes like that. One to four, many colors, many ways to manifest the one. So by the painter of this painting
Mm,
choose to use the fabric from above, like the fabric of the tent, the sukkah, call it any name that you like. He chose to put the dressing of Jacob upstairs from the ceiling, so to speak, above men's height.
mm,
Yes, above men's height, to show what? That they saw not just a physical person first, not
mm.
just their brother Joseph. They sold their relation to the mystery. They sold their relation to God. They sold their relation to the higher. They sold their relation to the secret between heaven and earth.
Yep.
Because one act, like what did they did to Joseph, is it's a deep symbolism. How many times do we sell ourselves just to gain a moment of an ice cream somewhere, and we forget that there is a mystery, there's a secret, there's intimacy. Sometimes people like to hang out with others just for the fact of being mammals and forget all of this, like this world of mystery does not exist. So let's look at Judah within us. Judah is not a person who lived 3,000 years before our time or 2,000 years selling Jesus.
Mm.
Let's look in ourselves and see Judah in us that constantly sell Joseph in us, because all the names are happening in us at the same time, selling Joseph in us, the Hebrew, as he's named later in the Bible, Eved Ivri, the Hebrew slave. He has a relation to the mystery, and Judah comes, the poor part in us, sell another dear aspect of us, Joseph, to be slave in Egypt. And also Judah in us sell Jesus in us later. Do we see this concept? Can I recognize Judah within me? This is the question. This is the question.
Yes, this is so beautiful, Eti. And Jacob is looking at the seal, at the tent. His eyes are not looking at what Judah brought, but he's staring at the ceiling, at the sukkah,
Yes,
the coat of many colors.
yes. Yes, Judah is looking down to the earth, and the father Jacob looks up. You're right. You're right.
Yes.
And if I may recommend a book for people who hear us, please try to find a book by Thomas Mann, Joseph and His Brothers. It is a very, very dedicated and delicate book, because not just that Thomas Mann wrote it for 15 years in a very hard time for humanity. It is he managed to bring in a very literal way, very intimate way, all the laws, the teachings of the Zohar, the Midrashim, everything. And it might take us many years to read this book. It has 4 volumes, Joseph and his brothers by Thomas Mann. It's and also if we have it uh, on the shelf, and after a while we find the right time to access it, it's a pearl. It is in a very I would say indescribable talent. He managed to tell a story of Joseph, and first of all Jacob the father, and then Joseph, and what is happening, how they sell their brother, what happens. The Bible does not speak what happens to Joseph in the hole, in the pit. But Thomas Mann go into those 72 hours, what is happening. And this is a very, very sensitive, and the whole book, the 4 volume, is something that even if you read this book in several years, it is great finding to have it on the shelf at home, because something like this does not exist. So
Thank you.
you're most welcome, and I would like to greet you with a new week and with a new Thanksgiving and beautiful season, and a lot of joy and happiness. And I would be happy to see you here tomorrow, to hear from you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank
Eti,
Yes,
you. Shalom,
s-
shalom.
shalom, shalom. Yes, Felipe.
sorry, Eti, could I just make a quick question about just a quick. I really didn't understand why Judah was naked and with this skin, this sheep skin.
This,
Uh,
yeah, this is the choice of the painter to show the one who sell his brother as cunning, as a murderer, as a hunter.
yes,
This is the
yes,
choice of the painter Alexander in this case this is an artistic, this is a choice of an artist to show him cunning. Arum, the Bible in Hebrew say Vehanachash, and the serpent is most cunning. Cunning in English, but in Hebrew Arum, undressed. And it's not undressed physically, but a person who
yes,
lack
yes,
of grace, lack of relation, lack of love and intimacy. This is the me.
yes, I see.
Yes,
Yes. I thought it was literally described in the Torah.
that what?
This clothing.
Mm.
I wondered if it was a literal meaning of some verse of Torah.
Mhm. The Torah does
But it
not mention the dress yet. There is later in the blessing. In the blessing, it's very good that you ask. Very pointed question. Later in the blessing of Jacob to his sons, children, in Genesis 49, he mentioned the dress of Judah, the dressing of
oh
Judah. He mentioned you can find it in Genesis 49 that he's dressing.
yes, thank you,
Yes, you will find a full description of the Judah's dressing, and it's good
thank you.
that you find this correlation. I would like to speak about it tomorrow.
Yes, it will be great.
Thank
Yes,
you so
thank you.
much. Thank you so much to all of
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
you,
Have a
Sister
wonderful week.
Charles.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.